There's an overflow, abundance of favor. It's a new level. It's a new level.
Wale Akinyemi is the lead consultant, trainer, and facilitator at Power Talks. He's also the founder of Streets University. He is a graduate of demography and social statistics and has over 20 years of experience working with companies and individuals in different parts of the world. He has worked with some of the most biggest organizations worldwide and individuals in leadership development, branding, and development of business strategies. Wale is also an internationally respected and most sought after conference speaker and business strategy advisor, continuously ranked by his clients as being one of the most inspiring and creative thought leaders. Wale Akinyemi continuously works with the Kenya School of Government in training the creme de la creme of Kenyan government leadership, with his focus area being transformational leadership. He is a newspaper columnist, prolific writer, and has authored a number of publications and books. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Wale Akinyemi.
Well, once again, it's a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored, and I thank God for the opportunity. All right. I received quite a number of emails from people who are either here or virtually, and I did my best to reply all that came my way. So if you wrote and I did not reply, it means I have not yet seen it. But I do reply my mails, okay? Today we're going to talk about developing your business brand, and I'm really excited about that because one gift I have is the gift of simplifying things. I don't like complexities. That's why I did not like school. Especially because when I was in school, the things that I did not like, they told me to focus on it and build and focus on my weaknesses till they become strengths. And in the process, I'm ignoring my strengths. And I found out that that just messed me up even later on in life. So I've learned to focus on my strengths and outsource my weaknesses. Okay, 2 people heard me. And it's so simple. I know my strengths. Let me tell you a story. I'm not good with some things. And I'm sure everybody here is like that. And I found out that while I am trying to develop the things I'm not good at, I am ignoring the things I'm good at. And that really cost me a lot. Anyway, I don't know where that came from, but you have it. So developing my business brand. Before we talk of developing the brand, I think we should first of all agree on what a brand is, isn't it? So what is a brand? Because I'm sure if I ask all of you now to define brand, you will all give me different things. What is a brand? And I'm a researcher. So in my research, listen to this, the word originated from, and this is, I think I knew this growing up, that the word brand, it got its life from owners of livestock. The mark that is put on the horse or on the cattle, that hot mark, that was called the brand. Did you know that? That was the brand. They were literally seared with hot iron. Now, so 16th century English defines the word brand as mark permanently with hot iron. Okay? Mark permanently with hot iron. So, now I began to think further. When something is new, what do we call it? I knew you would get it. It's called brand new. So what exactly does this mean? Then, researching forward, I realized that the expression brand new actually had a twin expression in Old English. When something was new, they would call it fire new. Okay? Then, in going further, I realized that William Shakespeare used that language. In Richard III, in 1592, he said, your fire new stamp of honor. That means brand new. In the 12th night, he said, some excellent jests, fire new from the mint. So fire new meant brand new. Then you go into the Bible, and it talks about the refiner's fire. Remember? Refiner's fire. And it talked about silver and gold coming out of the refiner's fire. And I said, wow, you don't refine it after you have bought it. You buy it when it has been refined, isn't it? So for it, at the time you are buying it as brand. But for it to become brand new, it has to go through. I like this class. So the refiner's fire makes the gold and the silver fire new. And what's another word for fire new? Brand new. Okay. So it's fresh from the branding rod, fresh from the refiner's fire. So, what is a brand? Let me first tell you what a brand is not. It's not a logo. I just upset somebody's business. Say, what do you do? Oh, we do branding. And what you do is do logos. You know? All right. Well, you will get to understand what I'm saying. That, okay, there's a, it's not a logo, it's not a pen, a t-shirt, I understand where you're coming from. So what is a brand? I want you to write this down. Mental real estate. Mental real estate. And to understand, we're going to play a little game. Is that okay? I'm going to mention some words. When I mention the word, you will write down, the minute I mention the word, you will write down what product comes to your mind. Is that okay? This is so simple, you're going to need help to miss it. So, are you ready? Now, you write it down. Don't let anybody see it. So, toothpaste. Write down the brand that comes to your mind. Okay? Then, car. A car. Automobile, car. Write down what brand came to your mind immediately I said the word car. Now, immediately, then when I say mobile phone, write down what brand came to your mind immediately. Then this one is going to be fun. When I say soft drink, write down what brand, what product came to your mind immediately. Soft drink. Okay, I'm going to ask another one. I know we're in church, yeah? I know we're in church, yeah? But let's just pretend you are shocked when I mention this one. Oh, how could they do that? Okay, when you hear the word beer, what brand comes to mind? Okay, are we ready? Now, for toothpaste, Colgate. Did you discuss with each other? Ooh la la. Okay, let's try this one. This one is going to be interesting. Car. All right. Oh la la. All the Mercedes in the house, lift up your hand. Okay, all the Toyotas, lift up your hand. The Toyotas have it. The car in front of you. All right, cool. Mobile phone. Can you iPhone people see you are coming behind? This is that's campaign after election. You are coming. So, okay, all the iPhone people, it's democratic. How many iPhone people are here? All the Samsungs. Hey, whoa. All right, soft drink. Coca-Cola. Okay, this one, I know you are going to think very hard because you really don't know. But let's just see. Beer. Now, yeah, I know you didn't know. You read it somewhere, you know. You did. Now, do you know what I have just shown you? Those guys have dominant real estate in your minds. So they are top of mind. When you hear that word, you instinctively think of them. Okay, let's try another one, another game. And this time we mention individuals. I'm going to mention some words and you tell me which individual comes to mind. Are you ready? Software. Bill Gates. Apple. You know, when I was small, when you hear Apple, you think of Adam and Eve. Now you... Steve Jobs. Okay, let's see. Terrorist. So even terrorism is a brand. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, environment. Freedom. Bandera. Now, do you know what just happened? Those names have put a mark in your mind. They have branded your mind. They are top of mind. Is somebody hearing me today? Now the big question. Just keep your face straight. No expression when I ask this question. Is that okay? What word will lead people back to you? Aha. That when they hear that word, immediately they think of you. Is somebody hearing me? What word or words? And it's got to be intentional. I made up my mind. I said, in this country, when you hear leadership or transformation, it must lead you right back to Wale. Is somebody hearing me today? If you cannot arrive at that, and that's why I'm here to help you in a very simple way. If you have not gotten to a place where people hear a word that leads them back to you, you are on shaky grounds where branding is concerned. And I think it's probably the number one question you need to be asking in building your personal brand. So I'm going to show you two videos right now. And then after that, we will now develop what, this whole branding thing. So the first video, I hope it's ready. So let's play the first video. That was the one on Coke. Okay?
Let's land on the beaches and go all the way.
This has got to be the boldest consumer product move of any kind, of any stripe.
These two products, Pepsi and Coke, have been going at it eyeball to eyeball. And in my view, the other guy just blinked.
The year was 1985. Coca-Cola was it, the pop of choice in a fierce cola war with rival Pepsi.
What is it?
I have no idea.
But then came April 23rd, a day that lives in history as the launch of what's been called the worst marketing disaster of all time.
Coca-Cola Company will tell a thirsty world it's putting a smoother, sweeter taste into the most instantly recognizable bottle in the world.
It was the day Coca-Cola announced New Coke.
We started producing it today.
The company's original formula, called Merchandise 7X, was so secret it was locked inside a bank vault in Atlanta. For nearly a century, it had never been dramatically changed, until New Coke came into the scene. In reality, it was a lot like Diet Coke, but sweetened with corn syrup. At first, industry experts applauded the move.
This has got to be the boldest consumer product move of any kind, of any stripe, since Eve started to hand out apples.
I believe it will do for brand Coca-Cola what Diet Coca-Cola did for the diet market.
At the time, Coke was still #1, but pressure from Pepsi had cut down its market share by 2.5 percentage points.
These two products, Pepsi and Coke, have been going at it eyeball to eyeball. And in my view, the other guy just blinked.
Blinked it did, and in that moment, Coke was blind to what was about to happen. It forged ahead with an advertising blitz that included a pep rally video for its bottlers.
So let's let her rip. Let's land on the beaches and go all the way.
It's a kick, it's a hit, it's a Coke.
As New Coke replaced the original Coke, the soda maker suddenly had a mutiny on its hands.
I think the new Coke is too sweet. I like the old Coke better.
We're trying to start a grassroots campaign to get the old Coke back.
Can somebody out there tell me why Coke did it? Why they changed?
Coke fans revolted, and who better to explain the reaction than the late Bob Simon?
It was the people against the corporation, only in America. Coke said it was committed. So were the people. In California, they collected signatures. In Seattle, they set up a hotline.
The numbers said it all. Only 13% of soda drinkers said they liked the new drink.
Basically, there is a cadre of very loyal Coca-Cola drinkers who will only drink old Coca-Cola.
In early July, Coke showed signs of buckling. The company's president, Donald Keogh, appeared on a commercial with a promise.
We're bringing it back. The original taste of Coca-Cola returns as Coca-Cola Classic. And soon America will have a real choice. The new taste of Coke or the original taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
Gay Mullins, the head of a protest group called Old Cola Drinkers of America, declared victory.
Well, I think we've won. I think that the Coca-Cola Company, if in fact they start producing the old cola, we've won.
On July 11th, 77 days after the launch, Keogh held a press conference to officially announce the return of Original Coke, and to make it clear the company had faltered.
The simple fact is that all of the time and money and skill poured into consumer research on the new Coca-Cola could not measure or reveal the depth and abiding emotional attachment to original Coca-Cola felt by so many people.
New Coke eventually fizzled out, and the Coca-Cola Company embraced the blunder. 10 years after New Coke, then Chairman Robert Goizeta said, "If we had it to do all over again, knowing what the results would be, we would do precisely the same thing." And there's something to be said about the attention the fiasco received. Once again, Bob Simon.
And before you call the company crazy, think of this. When's the last time any product has gotten this much free airtime?
Apparently, the people feel no. So my question, what was Coke selling? Anybody want to help me? What was Coke selling? Now, before you say the taste, because I did a lot of research into this particular experience, they did side-by-side Coke and Pepsi tasting. Even when Coke did it, their customers said Pepsi tasted better. So what was Coke selling? Sorry? The brand. Okay, what was the brand? I say, what is Coke selling? The brand. What is the brand? Coke. The formula. Okay, anybody else? What was Coke selling? History. Okay, anybody else? Loyalty. But what birthed the loyalty? Where? Okay, trust. Yeah, go on. Okay, hold that thought. I'm going to show you another video which is closer to home. Okay? Watch this and then we'll resume. Video number 2.
Na furahia undugu na uko wetu, na sherekea kazi na bidii yetu, tuvute pamoja, tushirikiane, bega kwa bega tujikaze, tusaidiane. Niko na uwezo wa kujiendeleza. Niko nayo nguvu, nitajitahidi. Niko na fanaka, nitajitolea. Niko na baraka, niko na kazi nayofanya.
I'm hearing wow. Years later, some of you even want to clap. Years. So let me ask, how many of you remember the first time you saw that ad? How did you feel? Oh, guy, you have said it. You felt what? So what is Safaricom selling? They did not tell you about their product. They did not tell you about their pricing. They did not tell you we are the best. That we like. They did not tell you. So what are they selling? Emotion. An emotion that transcends price, quality, or anything. They were selling an emotion. So listen, we said, what is your brand? Your brand is the emotional connection that people feel at the mention of your name. The emotional connection that people feel. Your brand is not who you say you are. It is who people say you are based on how you make them feel. So it's the emotional connection. So Coke, I watched a lot of other videos and you could see they had developed an emotional, you said it, history, an emotional connection with people. There was a lady who had not tasted a Coke in 30 years and she was protesting. So Donald Kerr, the president of Coke, asked her, what is your problem? She said, you are messing around with my youth. Because that old taste, when she was 10 years old, it was there. Her 20th birthday, it was there. It was there. So an emotional connection. You may have the finest logo in the world and be the lousiest brand in the world. So talking about emotional connection, let's look at something. Okay, let me ask it this way. Assuming you are American and in the Trump versus Hillary election, you could have voted. Okay? How many of you would have voted for Trump? How many of you would have voted for Hillary? Nearly the whole house. Now, let me tell you, Hillary came with facts, with statistics, with data. Trump came, we're going to make America great again. How? But listen, I have read all Trump's books, and his message was consistent. Do you know what his message was? So I'm going to ask you, when I finish breaking down his message, who you would have voted for. His message was, America is broke. And we're going to get even more broke. If we are a ship, we are headed for the Titanic. We are headed for the iceberg like the Titanic. If you are planning to grow old in America, we will have no money to look after you. Why don't we have money? Number one, we have entered into all sorts of stupid treaties with different countries that are not in favor of America. Number two, we have allowed manufacturing to move from here to go to China. Number three, our borders are porous. So even the little resources we have, immigrants are pouring in. So we're going to build a wall. We're going to keep them out. So if you want to grow old and be taken care of in America, I'm the only one that can fix it. So with that new information, if you are an American and you wanted to grow old in America, how many of you will still vote for Hillary? So what was Trump doing? He was making an emotional connection. And that is why he's a big brand. Because of the power of the emotional connection. Now, let me tell you, when you connect with someone emotionally, there was some study that was done. They were measuring brain activity while people were looking at different images. And whenever they were looking at the image of somebody they were emotionally connected with, that they loved, the part of the brain connected with reasoning shut down. So that's why Trump can say, I can shoot a man on Fifth Avenue and nobody will do anything about it. Why? Because when you are connected emotionally, you are no more logical. So Coca-Cola fans hit the streets to protest because of the emotional connection. That is the connection that Coke had, and so people owned it. And those are the attributes of a great brand. So how do we now get people to own it? Let's look at the power of ownership. A case study. Not a very appropriate one, but it gets the message. There was a $25 million reward for anybody who had information for the capture of Osama bin Laden. Isn't it? $25 million is a lot of money anywhere in the world. You can change your complexion, you can change everything. With 25 million, you will change the way you do plastic surgery and turn me into an Indian. You collect the money and change everything. Did anybody talk? Why didn't they talk? Yet, when he died, we now looked at documentaries and realized they were broke. But nobody talked. Why? Because there was a cause, a mission that was greater than money. Let me give you another one. There's a guy called Umaru Mutalab who served in government in Nigeria. He was the Minister for Finance. He was a billionaire. On Christmas Day, 2009, his son tried to blow up a jet. A plane flying into the US. He's serving consecutive life sentences now. What was driving him? Was it money? No. So monetary motivation is very small compared with when you have a cause that you can identify with. There was a company that was going broke, they were going bust, and they're all right, I've been told to hold the mic properly. I come from a village that is slightly bigger than this church. So one road passes through like that. So remote, planes don't fly over. All right. All right. Is this better? Okay. And I have found out that companies with a great cause, Google, do no evil. Microsoft, put a computer in every home. Companies that have a great cause often become great brands. Is somebody hearing me today? So, when you want to build your brand, okay, the emotional connection is key. But the ways to get to that emotional connection, what is the cause that you are pushing that people can identify with? So even if they don't want your product, they will support you because of your mission. Okay? Then that leads to another very important factor, storytelling. And, why is it when people identify? My sons are Manchester United fans. And when they talk, oh, we just bought this player, we did this, we did it. I said, my friend, they don't know you. But you see the ownership, isn't it? Proud to wear the jerseys, proud to be identified with them. One thing that stirs the spirit of ownership is your ability to tell great stories. In the book Made to Stick, the title of the book is Made to Stick by Dan Heath and Chip Heath. They analyzed 2 fundraising letters. All right? Now listen, first letter, food shortages in Malawi are affecting more than 3 million children. In Zambia, severe rainfall deficits have resulted in a 42% drop in maize production from 2000. As a result, an estimated 3 million Zambians face hunger. 4 million Angolans, 1/3 of the population, have been forced to flee their homes. More than 11 million people in Ethiopia need immediate food assistance. That was the first letter. The second letter, and they were sent to exactly the same kind of demographic. Second letter, any money that you donate will go to Rokia, a 7-year-old girl from Mali. Rokia is desperately poor and faces the threat of severe hunger or even starvation. Her life will be changed for the better as a result of your financial gift. With your support and the support of other caring sponsors, Save the Children will work with Rokia's family and other members of the community to help feed and educate her and provide basic medical care and hygiene education. Which of the two letters do you think raised more money? Why? It was a story, but Rokia was a person. You could identify, isn't it? It's not just statistics. You could identify and listen, more than double. They raised more than double what the first letter looked at. Now, talking of stories, let's look at one of the sponsors for this event. They are not paying me for this. Maybe they should. Equity Bank is a sponsor, isn't it? Now, let's look at Equity. And this is very good market research that I've been giving them for free. Of all the campaigns that Equity has done over the years, which one do you remember the most? I am a member. I knew you were going to say it. Member. Now, that was many years ago, isn't it? I think back in those days, that was around the same time of Safaricom. Back in those days, they were making very good ads. Okay. I'm a member. Why was that such a powerful thing? You could see yourself there. Identification. Identification must come before ownership. Do they identify? Can your clients identify with you on an emotional level? Can they see themselves? Now, having said that, now going back to the session we did yesterday, we actually left a massive clue on how to develop a great brand. And that is, you see, we need ambassadors. What is an ambassador? Who is an ambassador? Is an official who represents at the highest level his nation in a foreign land. So the ambassador is the embodiment of the nation. When you see the American ambassador to Kenya, you are seeing the embodiment of America. Yes or no? That's what it is. That's why ambassadors are referred to as Your Excellency. That's what it is. Okay, let me just do a quick diversion here. Are you ready? You are ambassadors of Christ. Now let me come back. Now, yesterday, remember when we talked about service innovation? It has made its way back today because it's the most cost-effective way to build a great brand. It's the most cost-effective way to occupy real estate in the minds of people. The most cost-effective way to be top of mind. You know, listen, people buy people. You know that? So if two people are selling the exact same thing in the same vicinity at the same price, so product is the same, shopping area is the same, price is the same, what will determine who you buy from? The person. At the end of the day, it's the person. People buy people and people leave people. Okay? So if that be the case, our goal in business, in developing our brand, is to create ambassadors and not just customers. to create ambassadors. The more ambassadors we create, the bigger a brand we will be. Now, that Coca-Cola thing may have looked like a commercial flop, but it was a fantastic PR win. That you mean all these people were ready to go on the streets to protest. They are protesting because they care, isn't it? In essence, they are more than customers, they are ambassadors. There's a story I have told so many times all over the world, which I will tell again today. Years ago, I came to Kenya. I went to a particular hotel in the coast, in Mombasa. And when I got to that hotel, they were very rude to me. Very, very rude. And they said, I got there about 11. They said, there's no room. I said, please, I had come in from the US. I was really tired. I said, please, maybe somebody will check out. And they said, oh, no. Why don't you try White Sands? I had never heard of a place called White Sands. But bad behavior is great publicity for your competition. And it is free. So they said, White Sands, okay. I got a cab. I went to White Sands. When I got to White Sands, at the concierge, they behaved like they were expecting me. You know, when you walk as somebody, Karibu, and you are looking back, that there must be somebody else. So I get in, then I get to the place, and next thing, they brought a towel, cleaned my face. Cold juice. Now, I hate filling forms, yeah? So this young lady comes over and says, hello, please, where have you come from today? Fills the form, don't even say, please sign here. Now it was over. You know, then I got to my room. Letter, everything. Then, that evening when I went to the restaurant, the waiters that were serving me were calling me by my name. So I beg, if you were me, how will you feel? Then you know the worst part of it, the crowning moment. When it was time for me to go back to America, I was feeling sorry I was leaving. Even they were behaving like they were sorry. I don't know whether they were acting or not, but they looked sorry. Hey, my goodness. I got back to America. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. You know, this is my big mouth. And you see, I meet with leaders every day. So everywhere I was, there's this hotel. So I now went back. Now, next time I came, do you think I remember the Mumu Hotel I stayed before? I cannot even dignify them by mentioning their name. I went straight to White Sands. Then guess what? They remembered me. Oh, I was not a statistic. They say, you are back. Karibu. Who wants to be a statistic? So now it was settled. By the time I was going back, I said, this is my home, away from home. That December, I came to Kenya with 30 business leaders from America. Then, anybody, anywhere I went, I am preaching about my hotel. Now, guess what? Then I didn't know them. They didn't know me. But they had to find me because groups of people were arriving. Dr. Wale sent us. Dr. Wale told us about it. If I'm doing consultancy for anybody, UN, anybody, I said, there's only one place I stay in Mombasa. So we connected. In fact, we now became family. The late Vora, before he died, we were like brothers. A few days before he died, he was in my house. You know, from that relationship, I remember once I was working in Ethiopia for a multinational, about 250 CEOs from all over the world. And this is where you now see the power of an ambassador. So I was telling this same story. When I finished, their boss, this is the CEO of CEOs, now stood up. He said, yeah, I've been there before. It's not all that. Yeah. He destroyed my brand in front of his people. A customer will take it sitting down, not an ambassador. I got up. I said, you know, you are very correct. I know the rooms you are talking about. Because I'm an ambassador, I know my brand. I said, that is why we have embarked on a multi-million-dollar renovation. And you know what? When the renovation is done, I am giving you a complimentary to come and check it out. That is an ambassador. Everybody clapped. I had saved my brand. Immediately, I finished. I ran outside. I called Kenya. I called my brother. I said, bro, we're in trouble. I said, but this is what I have done. He said, confirmed. Do you know that CEO of CEOs went there? He also became an ambassador. So what am I saying? That emotional connection. When it was my parents, my dad, no, my Taiwo's parents, my wife's parents, they were coming. Then Mohammed Hersi was the GM at White Sands. I called Mohammed. I said, dude, you have to make your friend look good. I said, my wife's parents are coming. Please, he said, don't worry. Do you know Mohammed put them in the presidential suite? I was the most important man in Kenya. That I could pull that off. Are you hearing me? Then my dad came for his 75th. Vora Pinky arranged a whole party for him. Did I tell you yesterday I was once called one of the best customers of Virgin Atlantic? I didn't talk about Virgin Atlantic yesterday. Same thing. I was flying British Airways. And one day, I had to go to London. British Airways. Now, if you want me to tell this story, you better tell them to give me 5 more minutes at the end of my time. So, okay. Should I tell the story? So, I used to fly British Airways. Then, there was no seat on British Airways the day I needed to travel. I called Virgin Atlantic on the phone. The person that picked up the phone, Caroline, she's my friend till today. She said, she made me feel, he said, you mean you've never flown Virgin? She made me feel guilty, like I have missed half of my life because I've never flown Virgin Atlantic. I said, what is this? Then she said, listen, I am going to, she said, you pay for economy and I will upgrade you to first class. I want you to experience, remember, experience, remember that word? Hey, I did not know my life was about to experience a seismic change. I got there when we reached cruising altitude. Hey! Then this daughter of God came home and said, would you like a massage? I said, Magini, ma what? Where? Get massage. Yeah. Village boy. Massage at 35,000 feet. 20. At 35,000 feet, you are being massaged. You are singing, nearer my God to thee. Then after massage, I sit down again. I have my dinner. Then she comes and she says, please, when you are ready to sleep, let me know so I can come and talk you in. Or Guinea, what is that? Virgin was one of the first to introduce flat bed in first class. So next thing, she gave me a bag, pajamas. So I changed. By the time I came back, the bed was ready. Now, landed in London like I had not traveled. Now, do you know, the next time I was going to travel to London, do you think I went with any other airline? Now, let me tell you, it even got worse. Are you ready? You know, KQ has a direct flight from here to Lagos, but they don't have massage. So if I was going even to Lagos, you do Nairobi, London, massage go. London, Lagos, massage come. Lagos, Nairobi, Lagos, London. Are you hearing me? I began to preach Virgin Atlantic everywhere on my birthday. Now, I now got a contract. I was in the UK twice a month for 2 years. They said I was one of their best customers. So on my birthday, they had a party for me. Who does that? Are you hearing this today? Customers are fickle. Ambassadors are dependable. And that is why one of the big things I do with organizations also is helping to shift the thinking from customer service to ambassador service. Good products will produce customers. Great experiences will produce ambassadors. Ambassadors. So very, very important. In many years of doing this, CEOs get very excited because they discover that service innovation is the most cost effective. It doesn't require a big budget. Oh, is somebody hearing me today? So, as you are thinking of building your brand, these are very simple things. You see, you need to move from the expected. Nobody is going to remember you because you did what you were expected to do. You go to a restaurant, you want to be served. You want to be served by somebody who is looking nice, not smelling. You understand what I'm saying? Not a dirty shirt. And you want to be served with somebody with a good attitude. Now, when you get that, you don't have to, they've done nothing special. So move from the expected, move past the impressive, which is they are doing what they are supposed to do with a smile. Move past the impressive. Where the action is unexpectedly impressive. Now, let me tell you a statistic that came out. Are you ready? You see, my background is in statistics. Okay, so that's probably why I'm a researcher. I love research. They did this study on hotels, and they found out that if people go into a hotel and everything is perfect, the return rate was about 60% or so. But if something went wrong and it was fixed speedily with great attitudes, people remembered. And the return rate shot to over 80%. So there are some hotels that before you get, because they know you have a platform, before you get there, the hot water can be turned off. Then you come and you say, you call, excuse me, my water, hot water. Oh, really? Sorry. Then execute game plan. So everybody rushes, before you know what is happening, they have fixed it in record time. The GM has given you a complimentary, there's a bottle of wine. Then they are telling you, we give you 2 days extra, a voucher for the... next time you go, you'll be praying for something to go bad. Why? Because when people experience the unexpectedly impressive, it makes that emotional connection and they become your ambassadors. Did you get this? So developing your business brand is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's just very simple things like this. Let me wrap up. I'm very impressed. I'm wrapping up before they tell me it's time. Have you discovered why do people, in my research and asking, why do people defend their family backgrounds even if they have nothing to be proud of in that family? But you can say anything, it's okay. But the minute you talk about their family, they will fight you. Why is that so? No matter how dysfunctional your family is, as long as you feel loved and valued in the family, you will fight. There is an emotional connection. Is somebody hearing me today? When there is a sense of value, pride will be the natural consequence. And that's the way I am with Kenya. You see, I'm a Nigerian by birth, but I live in Kenya, and Kenya has been good to me. So it's created a deep sense of loyalty and patriotism. I am a fiercely patriotic person concerning Kenya. So every opportunity, let me tell you how fanatical I am about this country. Maybe I'm having my Reimagine Yourself sessions with some high-profile clients in the US or in some other nations, and then the power goes. I am an ambassador. I say, oh my goodness, this is strange. I wonder what happened. It must be the transformer or something must have happened. Why? I am fiercely loyal to my Kenyan brand. Oh, is somebody hearing me today? Thank you. So, let me wrap up. As you think of building it, remember, it boils down to emotions that a person feels at the mention of your name, or when they think when they think about what you offer, when they see your logo. That's where logos come in. The logo is not an end, it's a means to an end. What gives the logo power is the emotion that people feel when they see anything connected with you. So, value comes from identification, from ownership, and from a passion that goes beyond money. And that passion is triggered by being deliberate about creating that emotional connection between you and the people you serve. That's why I would take pains to write people emails, to reach out to people, to help people. I enjoy helping people. That's what I do for a living. Is somebody hearing me today? So, the greatest part of this, anyone can build a great brand from scratch. Anybody. And it is not going to take rocket science, neither will you have to break the bank to do it. Take it. I have lived in Kayole. I have sold books at the side of the road. I have hawked books on the streets of Kenya. I've been chased by Kanjo. And at the same time, I have been hosted and celebrated by royalty. So if a village boy from Nigeria, from a place in Nigeria, even if I mention it, nobody here will know it, can build a brand in a foreign country, there is none of you that cannot build a great brand in this country. All right? And I want to once again encourage you to go to the table. These are the textbooks I used for my session yesterday. And I would like you to get, there are some other books there. I've written 18 books. And I'm giving, those of you who have sent me an email, you know that I have already said that I'm giving you a special sit-down package for Reimagine Yourself. But those who didn't have the faith to write the email will not know about that. So my email address is wale@thestreetuniversity.com. wale@thestreetuniversity.com. And if you would also like more information on that, you want me to have your details, there'll be somebody at my book table there. You can also do some registration there. But I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this has added value. Have I finished before time? I'm good to go then.
There's an overflow, abundance of favor. It's a new life.